In order to bring equity, sir, between small business registered under Item 8 of the Tariff Act and larger businesses registered under the Industries Encouragement Act, duty concessions under the Industries Encouragement Act will now be limited to 5 years from the date of approval. It is also proposed, Mr. Speaker, to eliminate the duty concessions offered under the Spirits and Beer Manufacture Act. Fees under the International Business Company Act are being increased. In order to eliminate the backlog of documents that have not been stamped, the applicable surcharge will be waived for documents that are presented for stamping on or before the 1st of October 2010. In other words, we're giving an amnesty to those who are holding the deeds and have not paid the stamp duty into the public treasury. If they pay after October 1st, they will pay the penalty and the increased rate. Finally, it's proposed to increase the duty on items imported temporarily from 7 to 10% for every 3 months the items are in the country. Mr. Speaker, as it now stands, much of our economic fortunes depend on the pace of recovery of the world economy, in particular the economy of the United States. It's been a blessing to us over many decades that our tourism and financial services sectors cater to international clients from many parts of the world, but most especially from the United States. In many good times, they have enabled us to enjoy the standard of living and a level of economic success for which we have been hailed. Of course, on the downside of this, when those economies falter, we experience a negative fallout, as has been the case over the last year and a half in particular. Whilst we must necessarily be watchful of the pace of recovery externally, we are mindful that there are steps that we can take to promote our own economic well-being, as well as optimize the gains from improving external conditions. To this end, you will note, Mr. Speaker, in the budget provisions being made, in the budget provision which will be presented in a few minutes, that firstly, an aggressive foreign direct investment promotion trust will be undertaken, and we are allocating $1 million for this purpose. We expect to mount investment promotion missions, in particular with the private sector, to key world cities, putting our case to investors to participate in profitable ventures in the Bahamas. 2, a new small and medium-sized business development framework to encourage the growth of such businesses, recognizing their contributions to job creation and sustained development of our economy. This new framework provides for some $10 million, representing the consolidation of subsidies to BAIC, the Venture Capital Fund, Bahamas Development Bank, and an additional $1 million. The additional $1 million will advance the implementation of the new small and medium-sized business development support framework and further efforts to explore the development of Bahamian entrepreneurship in the boutique resort business. It will also assist efforts to create linkages between the tourism sector and local industries. The aim here, sir, is to encourage the expansion of Bahamian production and increase foreign earnings retention. Our economic fortune, sir, will rebound, of that I am quite confident. Though the wheels of change are now turning only slowly, I am convinced that in time the pace will pick up. It is for us to do what is necessary now to ensure that when it does, we are in the best position to benefit. Our efforts today are geared toward ensuring that we are able to do just that. In conclusion, I should like to quote from the President Lincoln again. Confronted with a national crisis of grave importance, in 1862 he offered these words: "The dogmas of the quiet past are inadequate to the stormy present. The occasion is piled high with difficulty, and we must rise with the occasion. As our case is new, so must we think anew and act anew." All will most certainly agree, Mr. Speaker, that the present for the Bahamians, all will most certainly agree that the present for Bahamians and for their government is stormy indeed, a proverbial maelstrom, the likes of which few of us have experienced. We do have and face grave difficulty. But for the sake of the current and future generations, we must rise to the occasion. And I'm proud to proclaim that's precisely what my government has done. Though the recovery may be modest, by historical standards, I believe we can maximize the gains, not recovery, through sacrifice, service, and social reform. Sacrifice will allow us to make adjustments today that will put us in a better position tomorrow. Service excellence will allow us to increase our competitive edge and gain accelerated economic benefits therefrom. Social reforms will enable us to change our behavior as a society, to improve our quality of life and our attractiveness as a place to visit in which to conduct business and live. In this pivotal budget communication, we've set out a carefully balanced medium-term strategy, not only to bring order to the nation's public finances and set them on a sustainable course for the future, but also to bring forward much-needed structural reforms that will vastly enhance the domestic business environment. As is a strategy, Mr. Speaker, that will promote economic growth and rising standards of living. The ultimate test of all that we have done and are doing is how well it improves the quality of life of the people of the Bahamas. I am confident that the strategy will meet that test. I'm confident it will garner the support and approval of the Bahamians and all those who have served us in our discharge of our duty. I thank you, sir. Communication is accompanied by a number of annexes, and the usual printed copy is also being provided for the benefit of members. 25th, eh? 26th.
Order that the communication and documents be brought up. Order that the documents, communications do lie on the table. Further laying of documents by ministers.
Mr. Speaker.
Right Honourable Member for North Abaco.
Mr. Speaker, I beg leave to lay on the table of the House the Protection of Revenue Impost Variation Order 2010. This makes some of the matters I just spoke of law.
Order that the document be brought up.
Not all.
Order that the document do lie on the table. Further laying of documents by ministers. Right Honourable Member for North Abaco.
Speaker, I beg leave to lay on the table of the House the Parliamentary Salaries and Allowances Amendment of Schedule Order 2010. And I will give notice later on of the resolution to bring this into effect.
Order that the document be brought up. Order that the document do lie on the table. Further laying of documents by ministers.
Mr. Speaker, I beg...
Right Honourable Member for North Abaco.
I beg leave to lay on the table the International Business Companies Amendment of First Schedule Order 2010.
Order that the document be brought up.
Yeah, I'll give notice of the resolution later.
David.
Shall I? Yes, I'm going to sign in a minute. Otherwise, you can take quite a